Hello and welcome to this Against the Storm tutorial on the world map. As I mentioned in the introductory tutorial, this series will be covering all aspects of the gameplay, all of the various features and mechanics of the game. However, with the game still being in early access, some of these aspects may be altered slightly or greatly throughout the development period. When that happens, I plan to provide some kind of update, either with an updated tutorial video or at a minimum as a pinned comment. With that said, let's get started. As I also mentioned in the introductory video, the world map is one of the three key screens in the game. The first, of course, being the main menu screen, and the third being the screen where you play through the towns themselves. So the world map has a huge amount of impact on the game as a whole. So there are a few key areas to look at on the world map. The first is the Citadel, the smoldering city, here in the center. The second is the tile grid here, and I have the grid lines turned on, as I showed in that introductory video. The setting for that is here, in the options, graphics, world map grid. You can choose which one you like better. I tend to like the non-grid method. It looks more natural. But you may like the grid better because it looks more like a board game. We also have our Citadel resources up here, food stockpiles, machinery, and artifacts. These are used to purchase upgrades in the Citadel. Modifier tiles are scattered throughout the map. They look like this. They're a raised tile on top of one of the tiles on the grid. You cannot send a town directly to a tile, however, to a modifier tile. However, sending a town to an adjacent tile will give you the bonus that the modifier tile gives. There are also scattered throughout the world chests where you can collect some additional Citadel resources. Don't have one on the screen at the moment, but you'll find them scattered throughout the map at these question marks. The question marks can either be a chest or a modifier tile. There are also three opposing factions in the game. They're unlocked in the upgrades panel, which we will visit in a moment. The three factions are the Brass Order, the Vanguard of the Stolen Keys, and the First Dawn Company. We're competing with those factions here in the world for the favor of the Queen, the faction, including us, that completes the Blightstorm cycle with the most amount of influence points will get additional rewards from the Queen. These factions establish towns just as we do in the world, and we can trade with those towns throughout the play of our settlements themselves. We can also trade with previous towns we established, as well as the Citadel, when we're playing through a settlement. There are 4 different biomes in the game, with a small, less common 5th biome. The first biome is the Royal Woodlands. This is a biome you play in the first 2 missions, both are tutorial missions. The Royal Woodlands is a simple forested area. It does not have very many strong rewards, but it also doesn't have very many strong drawbacks either. It's kind of a more neutral biome to play. The second biome is the Marshlands. As the name implies, this is a very marshy land, and it is geared more around resources like mushrooms and abundant resources. But there are also difficult challenges. The third biome is the Scarlet Orchard. This biome has yet to be redone as part of the early access development period. But right now it focuses on mining, especially copper, and certain resources also found on the ground. And the fourth biome was added during the early access period. It's called the Coral Forest. This biome has trees that produce a wide variety of resources, depending on the type of tree you cut, whereas in the other 3 biomes, trees produce only wood with some small percentage of other items. The Coral Forest also has some extra strong benefits to it, and it has some stronger drawbacks to it as well. All 4 of these primary biomes are very entertaining to play, and they all have some nice variety that you'll want to take advantage of as you play through the game. We'll cover some more detail about each biome in the embarkation tutorial coming soon, and also in the settlements themselves. There's a limit to the range of how far you can embark from the Citadel at the start of a game, and there's also a limit to how far you can embark from a town. These are upgradable in the upgrades panel of the game, of the Citadel, and you can and that way you can expand the range further of the game to reach out to access more of these points of interest scattered throughout the map. I forgot the 5th biome. The 5th biome is the Cursed Royal Woodlands. In addition to being mostly like the Royal Woodlands, there are some additional, much more difficult aspects to the game that are available only in this biome. Seek these out, for sure, but perhaps not as a very new player. Finally, as I mentioned, there is a Blightstorm cycle throughout the game. As you complete each town, the amount of time you spent is added to this bar, the amount of years you spent. As you complete each town, the bar moves across this to the end. Once the bar passes this little mark here, you must wait until the Blightstorm has passed. The Blightstorm completely resets the entire world and returns you to a fresh world with just a Citadel. There are all new modifier tiles, and there are no other towns on the map, so you must start over again. When that Blightstorm happens, there will be a cycle summary window that comes up. It shows you a summary of how many of the Citadel resources you gained during the course of that cycle, what content you unlocked, your current level and experience gained, and will also compare your influence against the other 3 factions and reward you with any bonus resources that you're entitled to based on that influence. There's also here in the game a daily expedition that is unlocked as part of the upgrades tree. The daily expedition is like a normal settlement, however it does offer additional challenges and additional rewards. It of course changes daily, and some days are better than others. With the game being roguelike, it is a very different challenge each day. Before we go, I would like to show you what this world map looks like on a fresh world, and I would then also like to show you what it looks like to reset the cycle. The aspects of the Citadel that I hinted at will be covered under the Citadel tutorial video. Take a look for that one. And beyond that, let's take a look at what this looks like on a earlier save. In order to show you the end of the Blightstorm and the Blightstorm reset, I'm using the end of the tutorial. So we'll have to deal a little bit here with the Queen's Envoy and some of the tutorial, but this is the easiest way to show you what happens here with the Blightstorm reset. Here's the cycle summary window. Because I skipped through the tutorial as part of this, we have learned nothing except for the Obsidian Archive. See the Citadel tutorial for details on how this works, how the Obsidian Archive works. So let's end the cycle, and we can see the reset animation. So as you can see, the envoy's hinting at here, the embark range. And you can see also that this is much smaller of a window. Yes, of course, there aren't any other towns here either. But even if there weren't, in the save that has everything unlocked, that I've been playing on the Epic Games version for a long time, you have more than a 2-tile radius here to embark upon. As you could probably see from my mouse over in that area, I think it's about 5 tiles at maximum. So you can pick then only up to 2 tiles away from the citadel, and then establishing that following town, say if we established it here, we'd be able to go 2 tiles further from the edge of that town as well. Beyond this, everything else falls into another tutorial, so I want to leave this tutorial video here. I want to thank you all for watching. If you have any questions or comments, or would like me to cover any of this other information in detail that's not covered in another tutorial video, please let me know via the comments or through another communication method, such as Discord. And I will see you all in a future tutorial in this series, or in the parallel Let's Play series that I am starting as part of the Steam release. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.